Hello, everyone. My name is Bryce Persini, founder of Beyond the Bar. And in this episode, we're going to be going over the 7 bartending skills that you already have to build a 6-figure career. And so you're not starting from zero. You already have a very strong skill set to launch into your next career. And we're going to go over those and how to pitch them, how to sell them when you're looking at new jobs. So, the bar is a sales floor. Every night you are working sales skills. You just never gave yourself credit for it. Every shift you're qualifying strangers, you raise that check, that total check value, and then you're getting commission in tips, right? You're handling objections, asking for money, you're under pressure. All these things can translate into another career and pay you potentially much, much more. So, what you're already doing, we're just going to rename this, right? You're reading people, suggestive upselling, grace under pressure, handle difficult people, memory and multitasking, building regulars, closing out the tap. All these things have a similar skill set in sales. We're just going to rename those so that you can, pitch yourself in this new career. So, first off, you read people fast. This is such an important skill in sales. Being able to qualify and find that discovery and figure out what people actually want and do it quickly. This is really rare. And this is something that bartenders do every night, and it comes really naturally to you. So, you're just going to be using this in a new arena to be able to qualify people and see who's for real and who's not. Suggestive upselling. This becomes consultative selling. You're already getting people doubles, getting people more expensive bottles of wine. You're already doing that. You're already talking them through where they're at, what they want out of the evening, and how to make the most out of it. Well, a sales call is the same. Where are you at? Where do you want to go? How do you want to get there? Right? You already have these conversations every single night. So when you're using this in your resume, say, you increased your average check size through premium recommendations instead of saying like whatever it is that's on your resume, right? You can use all these different skill sets and sell yourself. Third, bartenders are the goats of grace under pressure. Every busy weekend, you are looking at a line of people and you're knocking it out of the park. This sort of composure when the stakes are high is so important because big calls have money on the line. And if you drop the ball, that's money that the offer has already spent to get that lead in front of you that is costing money, right? So you know how to handle these big day situations, these big game situations. You don't crack under pressure. You know how to handle pressure and get the job done. Bartenders are so good at this. So sell yourself this way. You're handling this. Like not many people have this, but you don't really maybe realize this because everyone around you is good at it. Hopefully, if you're at a good spot. Handling difficult people. Bartenders also are the goats of this, right? Like we all know how to handle difficult situations and to smooth it over and hopefully make the evening a better one for these people. De-escalate the situation, handle what they're saying, flip it, and make sure that they walk out happy. That's not easy to do. We've all been there. You de-escalate that conflict and you convert them into possibly regulars sometimes. You make something that was a potentially bad situation, you go above and beyond for them and they keep coming back. In sales, sometimes you're going to have those grouchy people and you have to get to the heart of why they're not happy and how to make them happy. And once you do, that's where the sale's made, right? Memory and multitasking. I mean, how many cocktails do you have memorized? How many regulars' names do you have memorized? This is not a common skill set, especially in the day and age of AI and smartphones. People don't memorize things. Bartenders do because they need to do it quick. And they're multitasking things. I remember speaking in Spanish to a regular while making 3 drinks. This isn't a common skill set, and bartenders have it in spades. So sell yourself with that. Show that you're great at this because this is not something that everybody has, but bartenders do. So make sure that it's known. Building regulars. Every bartender who's worth their salt has a list of regulars who will follow them around wherever they are. This sort of customer retention is super important in sales. The total life value of a customer goes up when they like you. When a bartender is liked, they'll always have a full bar no matter where they go. And so knowing how to create those relationships and create a customer for life is so important in sales. And you do this naturally because that's who you are. So work on that, build that, show it. You already have this skill. Closing out the tab comes as easy as night and day, right? Like it's just natural to a bartender. Of course they have to pay. Well, they had the service, right? Asking for that money, cash or card, right? Easy. And well, at the end of a good sales call, asking for that cash money, that's something that you have to do. And a lot of people feel uncomfortable asking for money. Well, as a bartender, you do that every night, multiple times a night. Easy to do. So these are the 7 skills that are going to get you paid. And as we had talked about in the previous episode, if you watch that one, 2 of the main avenues are a setter and a closer. And we can think of the setter as a barback and the closer as the bartender. And as a setter, you're making 5% of commissions on everything your closer is closing. And you usually have more calls because you have to filter out the people and the good ones you send to the closer. So that's why you can make $6,000-$7,000 a month, even though you're making half the commission, in case you were wondering on those numbers, right? And in that setter position, you're going to be reading people, building rapport, following through, and making sure that the closer is communicated to very clearly about everything that you learned from the setter. So as a setter, so that's your job as a setter. And bartenders have all these skill sets. And then as a closer, you're going to be using these same skills, plus you're going to be objection handling, so handling difficult situations and closing the deal. And closing that deal is what makes you so valuable. You're making 10% of everything that goes through that offer, and that works out generally to from 8 all the way to $20,000 plus a month. That's how you get to that 6-figure number. So here, action takers are money makers, right? So here are 4 moves to make this week that can bring you closer to getting out from behind the bar, beyond the bar. 1, pick your top 3. What are the 3 strongest skill sets you have out of those 7? And highlight those. Put numbers to each of them. So what does it mean in a sales capacity? Don't just say I'm good at this. Say I grew this bar's revenue from X to Y, right? Or I was the number 2 in total revenue every month for out of all the bartenders at this position. Or I was comfortable selling $700, $800 bottles of wine and $200 tins of caviar, right? Put numbers to it because sales is a numbers game. Rewrite your resume with some of those lines that are from this video. Start highlighting the skill sets that you already have and bringing them into a sales language. And then 4, practice your story. You've always been a salesperson. You just didn't realize it. So practice your elevator pitch. Do it in front of a camera. Do it in front of the mirror. and get really good at telling your story and why someone should hire you as a salesperson. So if you took anything from this, just realize that you already have the skills for a six-figure career. You just need to start labeling them different and start talking the talk. Subscribe along if this was helpful to you. I'm going to have more videos in this series, so watch for those. And I can't wait to keep interacting with you. Leave some comments if you want any personalized interaction, and let's go.